Hello, guys. Okay, so today we are doing a what sold video, but today is an end of month what sold video. So we're going to be talking about what sold the 29th through the 30th of September. And then we're also going to be talking about how that month went. And then we're going to be jumping right into October through the 5th, because that is everything that sold last week. So let's go on ahead and jump in. So the last two things, I only sold two things. September was an insanely slow month. So I will show you guys exactly what the final numbers were in a second. But on the 29th, we sold a Dr. Pepper Larry Culpepper bobblehead. Let me pull that guy up so you guys can see what he is. Now, Dr. Pepper had a really, I think it was probably 10 years ago, Larry Culpepper was a really irritating character that seemed to catch on fire. You either hated him or you loved him. But he was kind of the football spokesperson for Dr. Pepper. And so anyways, I ended up with two koozies and this bobblehead guy, and I actually ended up getting them for free. So yeah, that's generally what happened. Ignore the chat happening up in the top right hand corner. I have tried to turn it off. Other than deleting the freaking app, I don't know how to do that. So yeah, technology. There's a reason I dabble in old stuff. Okay, so he was literally just a little bobblehead, perfect condition, and then he's got the two koozies that went with him. So I ended up getting him for $0. So the way that sale worked was that I ended up buying a really awesome leather Dr. Pepper duffel bag, which I haven't posted yet. I will be posting that. And then when I bought a whole bunch of different stuff there, and then at the very last minute, she said, here, take these two. We don't want these. It all goes together with the bag. And she sold me the whole thing for like $5. So I went ahead and just put these guys down as $0, listed the bag at $5 instead of dividing it up and figuring out what each thing was worth for cents. So I got him for $0. I ended up selling him with shipping, remember, for $37.74. The fees and taxes, so shipping and handling and any listing fees, were $3.63. He was super, super light. He was only maybe about this big. And then I profited $34.11. So that one was actually really nice for us. So yeah, and I ended up selling him on eBay. So yeah, and I believe I took a best offer for him. If I remember right, they only shaved off, like, I was listing him for 35, they asked for 30. I said, sure, why not? And then the shipping and handling was pretty cheap, so that's pretty much what happened. Okay, this, guys, I know we talked about this in the last video. Anything Halloween is flying off the shelves right now, so make sure that you are really stocking up on that vintage Halloween, and then also start thinking about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is just a little over 30 days away, 30 days and just about 2 months away. But this is the perfect time to start listing all of your Thanksgiving stuff, because it takes about 30 days for it to really catch on fire and start outperforming all of those other people who are not using their keywords right and not doing the SEO right. So make sure you're starting to list all of those things, because if you list them the day before Thanksgiving, A, they're not going to get to them on time, B, they're not going to sell. So just start now. Okay, so I love this guy. This guy was one of my favorites. I very much miss him, but he's sold on Facebook, if I recall, and he is a Pacific Rim lamp. Pacific Rim, in addition to being a really awesome movie, is a company that was here in the Seattle area probably about the 60s and the 70s, and they did a lot of really great ceramics. In fact, I have one more piece that is in the shop now that is also a lamp. So far, I've only run across their lamps. I'm betting they've done other things, but they usually have this little Pacific Rim sticker on the bottom, and they're pretty collectible. And so, yeah, it says made in Taiwan, ROC, but the company was actually based out of Seattle. So there you go. Or at least the Seattle area anyways. So he is super cool. He's got cutouts in his gown, in his, I don't know, sheet. And so the lighting on the inside will shine through that. He has got a little hole for the cord. He's got a little hole in the base for you. I recommend pretty much tea lights. I think tea lights are going to be better, but you can easily turn this guy into a lamp. So I love him. I got a note back from the buyer saying he shipped beautifully. She loves him. She's very excited to set him out this Halloween. So I got him for $3.99, and he was a pretty big guy. He was a nice sized lamp. So I got him for $3.99, sold him for $35.71. So with shipping and handling, fees and taxes, because I did end up listing him on, all of the different places, he was $8.55 to do all of that. And then $23.17 is what we profited on him. And I sold him on, Etsy. I sold one through, I know which one I sold through the Facebook Marketplace. We haven't gotten there yet. I'll show you that one. It's another ghosty. So this one I sold through Etsy. And that is how that goes. Okay, so moving on. So let's go on ahead and talk about our final numbers up here. So when we scroll to the top, again, if you guys have purchased this on the Etsy store, then you have access to this exact spreadsheet. You can come in here and see exactly how September looked, how any of the previous months looked, what's been selling. And when 2020 gets here, we will be adding a new tab, and we're going to be breaking things up into quarters since this is getting to be a bit crazy. So you guys will have access to everything. Okay, so for this one, if you look up here, these are the expenses for September. So we've got bubble wrap and paper, Walgreens. I bought a wooden ruler, which, guys, this has come in very handy, both for photographs and for quick measurements. I actually have a regular ruler, like what is it called? What's it called? It's called a clothing ruler. I don't know what it's called. It's for people who work with clothing. And so it's the floppy and stuff. So anyways, I use that all the time, but this is really handy just to keep on the desk and use in my photographs, because I also photograph things directly on the desk. Dollar Tree for mailers and clipboards, eBay fees for August, and these are growing, and I'm changing the way we're doing those this month, so I'll show you how that happens. $13.12 for buying 2 rolls of tape. It was an emergency situation. Otherwise, I usually get everything at Costco. I have tried the tape, by the way, from the dollar store, so it sucks. Just keep ripping it into little pieces. So I'm like, nope, it is worth it to spend the money on some things, and tape is what I definitely spend money on when I go to Costco. Some of the things that I do buy at the dollar store, though, in case you were wondering, are brown wrapping paper. I literally will stock up 20 rolls at a time on that. Occasionally I will buy bubble wrap, but I've also found that the bubble wrap at Staples is the exact same price. So you get a giant enormous roll instead of a bunch of tiny, tiny rolls. So I do that. I usually buy tape from either Costco, or in a pinch, I'll buy it from Staples. So those are the things that I kind of buy from the dollar store. They also have really great fragile stickers that I will occasionally use. So yeah, that's what I buy at the dollar store. Oh, and also bubble mailers. So Staples, again, I bought bubble wrap. It is a ginormous bubble wrap that lasts me for forever, and it cost me $20. So it's about the same amount that I would get if I bought 20 small rolls at dollar store. So that's what I end up doing. And a lot of times Staples has coupons. When you buy something, it'll say your next purchase is 50% off. I get those pretty much every other time I go to Staples. So that really helps. So sometimes I can get these for like $10. Okay, twine. I also get twine at the Dollar Tree. So those are all of the things that work for me. So when all was said and done, our purchase cost for everything last month was $120. Our sell price gross was $1,101.81, and we netted $637. That is pretty much what we normally net. That's a pretty decent percentage. The problem with that number is that we've been hitting 1,000 for the last few months, and all of a sudden we dropped like $400. So last month was rough. The last week of last month, pretty darn good actually. We did pretty good, but we didn't see a sale for like 5 days into September. It was terrible. So yeah, you can see the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. We did okay the first week, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th, 11th, 14th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Actually, we didn't do that bad. We just must have sold a bunch of small stuff. Anyways, it felt like it was a desert wasteland in September. But also, it was my wedding month. I was doing a lot with the wedding, so maybe it didn't feel like I was shipping as much. Okay, so we are in October, and I'll just show you what we've got going on so far. So far, we've actually done really, really well. We're only on the, what is today, the 7th? We're only on the 7th. We're just starting the 2nd week in October. And so right now we're going to go through October 5th with you right now. But you can see I'm going to start breaking up eBay payments, and instead of paying eBay in one big chunk at the end of the day or at the end of the month, I have set an alarm on my phone because right now, with about 300 things listing, my eBay fees are around $150. And I don't want to see what that bill is going to be like at the end of this month, because it seems to be pretty much quartering it adds on about $50 every single month. And I don't mind that, but I want to make sure that I'm not screwing myself at the end of the month. So I actually set an alarm on my phone so that I'm going to end up paying eBay fees daily. At 5 o'clock, I'm just going to jump into eBay, pay the $6 or $7 that I have to pay, or however much it is, and then call it a day. So I went on ahead and paid $50 of the $100 fee for October. So these are September fees. They're not due until the end of October, but these are my September fees. So my September fees were $50. It was basically $101, I think, or $105, something like that. So I'm going to do 2 payments of $50. So earlier in the week, I did $50 payment. So what we're looking at right now is a purchase cost of about $70.41 so far in the month of October. We have grossed $489, which is pretty darn good, and we've netted $279.07, which is pretty darn good. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. So if these numbers don't make much sense, you can see over here the fees and the taxes are $89 and the purchase cost is $70.41. Pretty much if you add those two together and then deduct them from the sale price, you're going to get $279.07. That's the way the math should work. It might be a little bit different because, we've got the -50 and all that stuff, but it's close enough, good enough for union work. So far we're doing pretty good. So let's go on ahead and work our way through the 5th. So this first thing that we've got, we sold on the 1st. I was excited about this. This is one of the things that I showed you guys in a previous haul from last week. I purchased this little bitty teddy bear for $5, I believe. What was it? Let's see. It was a beautiful $7. It was a beautiful little teddy bear. He was probably about this big. He was worn on all of his sides. I tried really, really hard to figure out where he was from. I tried Steiff, I tried Schuko, I tried all of the big names, but unfortunately there just wasn't enough information on this little guy to really nail down a maker. There were no tags. The only thing I could do was really nail down a time period, which would have been between 1920 and 1940. And the reason I could figure that out is because he has glass eyes. Glass eyes were used post-1940 for teddy bears. After that, and before that, they were buttons. After the glass eyes, they became plastic or resin. So, he's got little amber glass eyes. He's mohair. You can tell that when you look inside of the creases where not a whole lot of wear has happened yet. Underneath his ears and between his creases, he's got golden mohair. And so that was really, really beautiful. These marks right here on the side of him, these brown areas right here, are not burn marks, and they're also not wear and tear. What those are metal pin rust. So some of the older bears, and I have a caveat to this here in a second, some of the older bears have a metal frame. So they have a bar going across with pins on the end, and then bars going across. So when you raised one arm of this guy, the other arm raised. When you raised one leg, the other arm raised, because it's on a wire frame. Now over time, the wire frame starts to rust. And so that's what these little brown marks are rust marks from the inner pins. Now, that being said, in the 1980s and 1990s, it was really popular to create a bear that was retro. And what retro means is that it was created to look vintage or created to look antique. So I don't believe that this is one of those bears. This was not created to be usually the recreations were going to be bears that they were trying to make look more expensive. And this guy just wasn't. I sold him for about $50. I think he was very, very well made, but just based on the wear inside of his joints. And I just don't think he was a recreation. But be careful when you're buying these little teddy bears. A lot of them might be... Oh, the other reason I don't think he's a recreation is because he still had his auction tags on him. He had an antique auction sticker still on him, which I ended up taking off because it kind of detracted from the value. To me, he's probably going to be about 100 years old, probably the 1920s, the 1930s. He was also thrown out that he could be 1950s German, just not Steiff. So I put all of that in the listing. I even mentioned in the listing that there is a chance that he could be a reproduction from the 80s, but across the board, most people who saw these photos thought probably not a reproduction. He was probably a genuine little bear from the early turn of the century. But I just wanted to throw that out there so that you guys had a fair warning when you're finding these teddy bears or these really old bears. Just be aware that in the 80s and the 90s, it was really popular to recreate these for a lot of overseas companies to recreate these. Okay, so that guy was awesome. So I got him for $7. I ended up selling him for $61.25. That's with shipping and handling. He went to Japan. So with shipping and handling, he was $19.19. And I'm keeping a close eye on him because the last time I shipped something to Japan, it got lost somewhere in the ocean. I don't know where it is. But with fees and shipping, he was $19.99 or 19 cents. We profited $35.06. And yeah, and he sold on Etsy. So that is that guy. So I absolutely love him. I miss him already. Bye-bye, little guy. He's giving us a hug. Okay, I'm not going to talk that long on everything, I promise. But I really liked him. This is the ghost I was telling you guys about. So this is not Pacific Rim, but I love this guy because he has a beer belly. What ghost has a beer belly? So he's hilarious. He's got a little beer belly. He's a very simply painted, big white sheet ghost. This was a mold that was popular in, I believe this one was... let's see. I don't know if he did not have a date on him. I usually put the date at the top if he had a date. He didn't have a date. He was just signed LJ. But I have seen a couple more. There's one that he's like gray painted in the creases. You can find him on Etsy. I didn't like him quite as much as I like my clean white ghost. But I believe they said he was from like 1978, which is not surprising for me. So this vintage ghost was just a mold that you could paint on your own. I love the simplicity of this guy. He was very, very clean, very cool. I got him for $4, and again, he was pretty big. He was a pretty big guy. And I got him primarily because of his pot belly. I love that pot belly. Got him for $4, sold him for $37.67. This was the Facebook one that I said I shipped actually to Florida and sold it on Facebook Marketplace. Guys, if you guys are selling on Facebook Marketplace, we'll do another video on that. But here are a couple of tips for you. Make sure you're joining selling groups, and make sure you're not just joining local groups. Join full United States wide vintage loving selling groups. And the reason I say that is because I actually do a lot of sales in those. Basically the way you do it is join the groups, and then at the bottom of each of your listings, and I will show you, let's see if I can find right here. So if everything that I post on Facebook gets this added to the bottom. Meeting location, so they know exactly where we're meeting. They do not give out my house address. We have a meeting location. We have a payment. We have a holding policy. I cannot hold something unless you prepay for it. I will gladly hold on to an item for you. If you're afraid it's going to sell out from under you, that's fine. Shoot me a Venmo, and then I can hold it for you, and we can schedule a time that is more convenient for you to meet. And if you do see this item is available to ship. Just remember to update that if you happen to be selling something that's super heavy that you don't want to ship, take out that shipping policy. So that's what I do, and then literally this lives on my desktop, and I just copy and paste it into the listing whenever I'm listing something new on Facebook. So that's what this guy got. So a lady from Florida who was in one of my other vintage groups she messaged and said, can you ship this guy? And I let her know how much the shipping was. I'm very fair with shipping. I try to get pretty much exactly what it's going to be. And so with shipping, it was $37.67. I bought him for $4, and fees and taxes were $5.70. He was very light, by the way. $5.73, profited $27.94. And that was that guy. And I sold him on Facebook Marketplace. All right, moving on. So this is the second. You can see we did a lot on the second. We did 4 things on the second. So large ceramic Halloween pumpkin. Again, these are all selling really amazing. I thought this guy was just freaking adorable, and I was kind of secretly hoping he wasn't going to sell because I would have put him out front on our porch, but he is just freaking adorable. So he's another mold. He was signed on the bottom. I got him for $5.99 from Goodwill. Sold him for $36.89. Fees and taxes were $9.14, and I profited at $21.76 on him. And I sold him through Etsy. All right, this one I'm really surprised finally sold. I personally think that they're gorgeous. I love these Lionel Barrymore. So if you guys don't know who Lionel Barrymore is, he's an artist, but more than that, he is Drew Barrymore's grandfather. He was also an actor, part of the Barrymore dynasty in Hollywood. But when he wasn't acting, when he wasn't doing stage or black and white films, he was a painter and he was a sketcher. And so these are a few of his, and he primarily did boats and seascapes and really just beautiful scenes. So these are scenes from, I believe they're from the East Coast, from the New England area, but they're just boat scenes from the early 1900s in the New England area. And you guys can see, let's see if I got a close-up of, I did not, but so this is San Pedro, and you guys can see Lionel Barrymore right there at the bottom. Now these were in rough condition. Whoever received these originally cut them at kind of crooked angles, so I made sure that that was in the listing. If you look at the backs of these, the tape was archaic. It was petrified on there. So, and it was still kind of falling off. So I kind of retaped a couple of them just to make sure they got there in one piece and the glass didn't break and things like that. But I make sure that I document everything in here. So, yeah, these are absolutely adorable, but you can see that they were not framed well and they were cut crooked. But that would be a very, very, very easy thing to fix if they take them in to get framed, or if they're just pretty handy at framing themselves. So I got them for $12. I'm pretty sure I overpaid for those. And they sat here for a month. When did I list these? I listed these back in August, so 2 months ago, but I think I probably had them sitting here for a couple of weeks before I listed them. I do that. So $12, sale price was $31.85. Fees and taxes were $6.38. I profited $13.47, and they sold through Etsy. We really did a lot, and we're doing a lot on Etsy right now. All right, so we're still on the second. This was from Josh's grandmother. This is a beautiful Stratton, England powder compact and pill box. So Stratton was I believe they were a store, like a Macy's type store in England in the early 1900s, or I think these are 70s, I bet. But in any case, it's a Stratton mini box. It's a little bitty pill box, still in its original wrapping, and then a beautiful mirror compact, still with its powder and its poof. And they're enamel on top. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And you can kind of date them based on the pattern that's on the back, from what I understand. And this pattern was from the 70s. Okay, so for this one, like I said, it was from Josh's grandmother, so we got that for $0. $24.59 was the sale price on that. Fees and taxes were $3.83. They were very, very tiny. We profited $20.75 on that. And they sold through eBay. All right, keeping on trucking. We're on the third now. All right, so we sold two things on the third. On the third, we sold, so I had this baggie of really tiny, and I think we did these in a haul from earlier, but I had this tiny baggie full of little bitty tiny wooden Christmas tree ornaments, and they go on those tabletop Christmas trees, and so you can decorate them with all the tiny little ornaments. It was a really cool bag, really cool grab bag of stuff, so yeah, there you go. Now you can kind of see it's just a total grab bag. I loved these little Santa Clauses. One thing for some reason that I did get in that same bag was this little guy, like a little Pomeranian, little husky. I feel like it could be, I don't think it's a Pom, it's one of the bigger versions. But anyways, he's an eraser. I don't know why he ended up in the bag, but now he lives on my desk because I thought he's not very Christmassy, so I'm going to hang on to him. So anyways, I got that grab bag for $2.99 at a Value Village, sold it for $34.56. There was $6.85 in shipping and fees, and then $24.72 is what I profited on those. And then, let's see, and I sold those through Etsy. So keep an eye out for those little bitty tiny ornaments. If you can get them at a good price, they actually sell really, really well online. So this one is a vintage 1992 Longacres Mile Glasses. Longacres is a racetrack here. It's Emerald Downs. It's a racetrack here in the Seattle area. Very, very popular racetrack. I've been once. I'm not a huge horse racing or gambling person, but we have friends who are into horse racing, so it works. So these were really two beautiful highball glasses, and they're from 1992, and they list all of the winners from the early, I think, when was the date? Let's see if they've got it. There's 1956. There's more over here. It was from the early 1900s all the way through to the current winner, to the 1991 winner. So these were from 1992 before the winner had been named. So these sold on Facebook. They were shipped to Seattle, so not far. I purchased them for $3 each, so $6 total. Sold them for $29.76, $3.38 were fees and taxes and shipping, and then $20.38 was my profit. And guys, remember, when you guys are thrifting, honestly, local stuff sells best. Like if I find something from a Seattle artist or a Pacific Northwest specific artist or location here in the Pacific Northwest, then I make sure if it's in great condition and if it's got cool factor, I definitely make sure to pick it up because those things sell really, really well. People are constantly collecting things that either remind them of their local childhood or their college years, or things that they loved to do while they lived in the area, or things that they still love to do in the area that are vintage, such as this. So I absolutely loved these things. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for those. So yeah, again, I sold those guys on Facebook Marketplace. All right, on to the 4th. So the 4th, and this is the 7th right now, guys. We're only going to go through, well, we didn't sell anything on the 5th, I don't guess. So, which is weird because... Okay. But anyways, we sold a lot on, oh, that's what it was. I shipped everything on the 5th. Okay, so this was a beautiful piece of fabric. I love selling vintage fabric, primarily because I can pick it up for a song at Goodwill or Value Village or any of those places. And if you can get a good amount of it, I'd like to say I buy anything where someone can make a purse or more out of it. So $3.99 is what it cost me. $35 is what I sold it for. $6.88 was fees and taxes. And on Etsy right now, I am selling it so that $35 and up, you get free shipping. So hence the reason this doesn't look like a weird number, and it is a perfectly round number. So I sold it for $35. $6.88 was for shipping and handling and fees and all that stuff. $24.13 is what we profited on that. And guys, like that's, and it was super easy to ship. You just shove it in one of the padded envelopes and out the door goes. And I sold that one again on Etsy. So I love textiles. In fact, I've got like 10 textiles that haven't even been listed yet. I need to get those up there. Okay. Next on the 4th, so this is a Facebook sale. She was very excited to give these to her dad. I was so excited to show them to her because she got it for the box. She's like, the ornaments are cute and all, but I love the box. I'm like, okay. But she said this was something her dad was going to love. So these vintage Fantasia 1950s Christmas tree ornaments are going to her father. What's cool is when I picked these up, I picked them up at a yard sale. And the guy said that he'd had these since he was a kid. And so they used to put them on his tree when he was a kid. I just think they're adorable. So $5 is what I purchased those for. $25 is what they sold for in cash. 20 cents is what it cost me to list on Etsy. So even though I didn't sell them on Etsy, 20-cent listing fee on Etsy, I made $19.80 profit on those. And I just walked them down to Starbucks. So there was no shipping and handling on those. And I sold those on Facebook. Sorry, guys. My throat is really starting to hurt for some reason. And I haven't even been talking that long. Okay, still trucking with the 4th. So for this one, this was oh gosh, guys, I was surprised that this did not sell sooner. I've owned these for a long time. So since April was when I had these listed. I loved this. It took me a little while to figure out what they were, but in the 70s and 80s, it was popular if you had a collar to decorate your collar with a little chain, a little cuff, little ornaments. That's what these are. So it's a collar chain. One goes on either end of your sweater collar. So they're gold toned, and they have little bitty stones in there. Pretty sure they're not diamonds. I guess they could have been. I never checked, but I thought they were just absolutely beautiful. Perfect for the astronomer lover. I loved these. I got them for $3 at Goodwill. Sold them for $22.49, $4.03. I took a best offer on this. I think I had them listed for $27. They asked if they could do $20, I think. And I said, I'll do $20. They've been sitting here long enough, and I only paid $3. So $4.03 on fees and taxes. $15.47 was my profit on that one. I'm glad they found a home because they're really, really cool. Sold those through eBay. All right, 2 more things and then we're done. This one was also really funny. Actually, these next 2 things sold to the same woman. I walked down to Starbucks. This was a Facebook sale. Again, this is something that I've owned for quite a while. I listed it in April, but I've owned it for quite a while. It's a beautiful cut piece of wood, and we can find these for some reason. I find these a lot here in the Seattle area. But it's a beautiful shellacked piece of wood. It's got 2, so the wood was like this piece, this big, and then the birds were like that big. That's the reason I loved it. I loved how absolutely tiny the birds were. because it does make it feel like they're in such a big world, and I love it. And you can see the little eggs in the nest, and it's just adorable. But she was opening a bed and breakfast, and they're going to have a bird theme. Not a kitschy bird theme, but like an understated bird theme, which I love. And so she is using these guys in one of the rooms. So I love it. I got it for $2.99. Sold it for $20. 40 cents were my fees and taxes. Again, I walked it on down, so there's no shipping and handling. $16.61 was my profit on that one. Yeah, and that's how that worked. And I sold it on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the same woman, when she found out that I sold vintage, you know, for a living, she asked what else I had. And so I showed her all of my listings, and she immediately fell in love with this old Audubon print that I had. So I drove quickly up to my house, because it is faster than walking. Drove quickly up to my house and drove right back within 3 minutes. And I had this guy with me, and I had got him for $5.59. Sold him for $20. He's going to be perfect at Halloween. Sold him for $20. 20 cents was what it cost me to list on Etsy, and I made $14.21 on that sale. And I also sold him on Facebook Marketplace to the same woman. So this is everything that I literally just shipped this morning. So we made a lot of sales today and yesterday. We'll go over those in the next one. No looking ahead, no cheating. So yeah, that is that, guys. That's pretty much everything that we sold on the 29th through the 5th. I have a couple more haul videos to send your way. I have, here's a little inspiration for the next haul video. Oh my God. I have a Pink Panther themed haul. So I will be showing you guys that one. But anyways, I'm excited about that. I've got more haul videos to go and record. If you love this video, make sure you are thumbing it up, commenting, following the channel, because at this point in time, we are a brand spanking new channel, and I'm trying to get out some really good stuff to you guys. We've got some exciting sales happening. I've got some exciting videos in the works. So make sure that you guys are favoriting the channel, and tell people about it. Please, please, please. I really, really want to share all of my fun finds with you guys. And I want to help grow the vintage community. So yeah, make sure that you're doing all of those things. That is your homework for the evening. And I will see you guys in probably the next haul video. Bye.